In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up value added tax on product price. So for you to set up taxes, the first thing you have to do is we'll need to first of all ensure that the tax feature is enabled for the store. So for us to check the settings for tax, we navigate to the store management section and select settings. In the settings section here, we select stores. So we are going to check the general settings for the default store to see if the tax feature is enabled. So for us to do that, we go ahead and click on the edit button here. In the edit page, we navigate to the options section. And then here we proceed to the navigation section here and select taxes. So you can see that the tax feature is not enabled. So we'll need to enable this first so that once we set up tax, it will be able to display in the storefront pages. So what we'll do next is we go ahead and select yes, so that the product price is showed with taxes. So once we enable this, we scroll up and save. All right, so now that we have enabled the tax feature so that the product price is inclusive of tax, the next thing we have to do for us to set up taxes is we'll need to first set up GeoZones. So for us to set up GeoZone, we navigate to the store management section and select settings. So in the settings section, we select localization. So under localization, you can see that the GeoZones menu is located here. So we go ahead and select it. All right. So you can see that in the GeoZones list page, you see we have an existing zones that we have created before. So the GeoZone is basically to make it easier for us to group different zones. So this is useful for calculating shipping and taxes for multiple regions at once. So we can group it based on different countries. We can add 2 different countries in one zone. We can add different states. We can have a mixture of different locations. So for example, for this example, we are going to create, let's say, a new GeoZone. We'll call the GeoZone US VAT, right? So for us to do that, we come here, click on the add button. So here for the zone, we call this or let's say USA VAT, right? So this is just an example on how we can put the name. For this, we say United States value added tax. Or we can say, let's just leave it like this. All right. So once we do this, we can then proceed to assign the country and zones. So for this example, add, select the country as United States. All right. So for the first zone, we select Alabama. For the second, we select United States again. So for this second zone, we select Alaska. So this is basically how you can assign different zones to a GeoZone. So once you have added the zones, you go ahead and save. All right, so you can see the new zone that we created here. So what we'll do next after we have created the GeoZone is we'll proceed to create the tax rate. So for us to create the tax rate, we navigate to the store management section and select settings. So here we select localization, and then you can see the tax rates here. So we go ahead and select it. So for this, we add the tax rates. All right, we select the add button. So here we say US VAT, right? So we can say the tax rate, we put it as, let's say 10, and then for the type we select percent. So that means this is 10%. So after we add the tax rate and choose the type, we can allocate this tax rate to different customer groups, but we currently only have one customer group, so we select it. So for the geo zone here, we go ahead and choose the geo zone that we created earlier. So we can use any of these other zones, but for this example, we'll choose this. So once we do that, we save. All right. Now you can see that the tax rate that we created has been added. So let's go ahead and edit it again. So we put in bracket, we say 10% and then save. All right. So after we have done this, the next thing we have to do is we'll need to create the tax class. So the tax class is where we can then allocate this tax rate to, so that we can use it and assign it to our products. So for us to create the tax class, we navigate to the store management section and select settings, and then select localization. And then under localization, we select tax classes. So here you see we have two default tax class here. So, but for this example, we'll create a new tax class for, let's say, for physical products. So to do that, we click on the add button. So we call this, we say physical products. We say tax class, or we say this is test tax class. All right, so after we add the description, we will now proceed to assign the tax rates by clicking the add button here. And then here we'll choose the tax rates that we created earlier. So this is the tax rate. So after we set the tax rate, we will now set the criteria. So this will be the address that will be used when calculating the tax rates for the customer in storefront end. So for this example, instead of us selecting the shipping address, we'll select store address. So once we add this, we go ahead and save. All right. So you can see that the new tax class has been added here. So now that we have created the tax class, we can then proceed to assign it to a product. So for us to do this, we navigate to the store management section, select catalog, and then select products. So for this example, we are going to assign it to the test product. So we proceed to click on the edit button. All right. So in the product edit page, we come to the navigation section here and select data. So this will open the data section. In the data section, we scroll down till we find the option that says tax class. So what we'll do next here is we go ahead and choose the tax class that we created earlier. So this is it. We select it. So once we've assigned it to the product, we scroll up and save. All right, so now we have assigned the tax class to this product. So for us to be sure that we have set it up properly, we can go ahead and view the product in the storefront end. To do that, we go ahead and click on the view button here. All right, so I'll change the currency to dollar, as that is the default currency. So you can see that when we view the page, you can see that the tax was not included in the product price here. So this is because when we were setting up the tax class, we had selected that the store address should be used. For us to be able to explain why this is not showing the tax, so this next thing we have to do for us to be able to explain this so that you understand why tax has not been included with this product price. Just as I said before, this is because of the settings that we had done. So let's go back to the admin panel. So in the admin panel, we navigate to the store management section, select settings. So in the settings section, we go to localization and select tax classes. So we are going to open the edit page for the tax class that we created earlier. So we go ahead and click on the edit. So you can see that when we had allocated these tax rates, we had set the criteria, that's the based on, we set it as store address. So why this tax is not included in the product is because for the tax rates, if we go back to the settings for the tax rate, so we select tax rates here, and then we click on the edit button, we had set this tax rate to the geo zone that we created earlier, and this geo zone is set for 2 locations in the United States. So let's go ahead and open the geo zone so that you understand that as well. So if we go to localization and select geo zones, so you can see that when we click on the edit button, you see that we have only 2 zones here, Alabama and Alaska. So the reason why it's not showing here is because the store address does not have does not share the same location with any of these zones here. So for us to rectify this, we'll go ahead and adjust the store address. So let's say we'll set the store address to Alaska. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we go to store management section here. We select settings. So here we select stores. All right, so we'll proceed to edit the store general settings. So in the edit page, we select store. So here, once we make the changes here, after changing the address, we go to local section here. So this is where we can then allocate the store to Alabama. So for us to do that, we come to the regions look states here and select Alabama. So once we do that, or we select Alaska. So once we do that and save, you'll notice that coming back to the storefront here, and refreshing the page. So you can see that now the tax has been included with the product price. So when we come back here again, so you to understand what we did, we navigated to the local section, and then we set the region to a region that is within the geozone that was allocated to the tax rate. So going back here, you can see this is Alaska here. So let's navigate back to the geozone section. Select localization and select geozones. So here, if we open this, you can see that Alaska is one of the zones that has been allocated to this geozone. And then if we navigate to the tax class, so we select settings and then select tax classes. So if we open the edit page for this, you can see that we had set the tax to be based on the store address. So this is why we are able to see that the tax was included with the product price. So let's say we change this. We change the base from the store address to, let's say, the shipping address of the customer. So if we save this and then we refresh the page here, so you can see that it's still showing. This is because we've not logged into a customer account. So, but if we want to make, let's say we want to reflect this properly, we can as well go ahead and log into a customer account so that you understand it better. So let's say we log into an account here. All right. All right. So now that we are logged in, let's go back to the product, search for the test product and select it. Now you see that after we've logged in, the tax is not showing with the product price. So this is because of the settings that we made here. You can see that this is because the shipping address of this customer does not tally with the geozone. So the region for this customer shipping address is not the same as the geozone set for this tax. So to understand this better again, let me navigate to the customer account here. And then you can see that when we select the modify address book option here, so you see that my default address is Nigeria here. And you notice that when we go back to the settings and select geozone here, and then we open the geozone, you see that there is no location for Nigeria here. So if we want this to work for this customer, we can go ahead and update the geozone here. So we select Nigeria here. All right. And then for the location, we select Abuja and save. So once we do this, you can see that when we go back to the product page, now you see that the tax has now been included with the product price. So this is because of we have included the location for this customer's address with the geozone for the tax rate. So if we come here again and we go back to the address book section. If we change this customer's default address, this will also affect the tax settings that the customer can view in the storefront page. So in this video, I've shown you how to set up tax and how to allocate it to a product. Thank you for watching.